Welcome to The Nation Diplomatic Dispatch, your window into the world of diplomacy and international affairs. Today, let's turn our attention to a fascinating country in southern Africa, the Kingdom of Eswatini, formerly known as Swaziland. Known for its vibrant culture, stunning landscapes and deep-rooted traditions, Eswatini is now one of the few remaining monarchies in the world, blending modern aspirations with a proud heritage. And we're lucky today to help us gain a deeper understanding into the kingdom. We're honoured to welcome His Excellency MENZIE S. DLAMINI, High Commissioner of the Kingdom of Eswatini to Malaysia. Well, Your Excellency, welcome. It's wonderful to have you in the studio with us today.
My pleasure, JESSY.
As we speak about the wonderful heritage, as well as, to have a better understanding of the country, Eswatini to many of us is still a hidden gem. So help us unpack that and introduce us to the kingdom in terms of, for someone who's never been there before, Your Excellency.
Oh, thank you. Eswatini is a beautiful country, as you said. It's a hidden gem. Which is a landlocked country based in the southern part of Africa. We have got two neighbors in the name of Mozambique on the eastern side and South Africa on the western and southern side. It's a beautiful country with a lot of mountainous areas, so the scenery is captivating for anyone. So that is a country that is still ruled by a monarch. And the Eswatini people, called the Maswati, are very proud and keen to be led by a king.
Absolutely, and so we can see some visuals here as well. A beautiful landscape, as you mentioned, greenery, wildlife, but also in terms of economy and trade, there is a lot of activity there in terms of, looking at the progressive near future as well. As we speak more, to understand a little bit more about the kingdom, how does the country's history contribute to its national identity, Your Excellency, and how does it appeal as a tourist destination, aside from the wonderful pictures and landscape we've just seen?
Yeah. Look, the Eswatini is a country with, as I said, with the Maswati, which originally is the Bantu clan. Which consisted of Sotos, Botswanas, Swazis, the Xhosas and the likes. So Maswati then broke away as a group called Maswati because of the language they speak. And I think this was about 400 years ago, where then the monarch was established because they had to have one ruler who is a unifying figure. And he was then assigned or tasked with making sure that he is the epitome of culture. So one of his responsibility as a king is to uphold the traditions and the culture of the people of Eswatini.
That's definitely a big task and not easy, as you want to unite all the different tribes and those of different backgrounds as well. Of course, it's known for its vibrant nature as well. Can you walk us through some of the major cultural events, Your Excellency, that really help to attract international visitors, for us to understand the country a bit more, and what do they do in terms of representation of the people of Eswatini?
Right. I think, first of all, let me say we've got three major cultural events. Let me start with the Inkwala ceremony that will usually mark the end and the beginning of another year, where men, specifically men, would come in here, especially the young men, would come in here for a sacred plant, which they would walk plus or minus 70 kilometers on foot with the king himself.
The king is also on foot.
He is also on foot. No car is there. He walks with us. I'm also a member of the regiment anyway. Okay. So he walks with us for about 70 kilometers to get the plant. But young men that are not married as yet are the ones that get the plant, carry it on their shoulders and come back with that plant to the royal residence. And this entire duration or length is 70 kilometers to and fro. What is this plant? It's called Lusekwane. It's I don't know if it's acacia shrub. Yeah, it's acacia shrub. That is the modern name, but it's a plant that we use to build the kraal. Culturally, we used to build the kraal for the king, so we still are upholding that. And that is when then the whole group, including women, but dominated by both matured men and young men. But you'll be surprised, I think recently, about 3 or 4 months back, I was surprised, just next to me as we were walking, somebody was saying, I am going to be celebrating my 100 years tomorrow. And I said, no, you can't be telling me that. And you're walking this much? And he says, yes, I am 100 years old.
Wonderful. That's
So
amazing.
that's the amazing part. The walking part of it, the cultural part of it, as you saw, the dances there are keeping some of these people very fit and naturally strong. So some of them would last up to 100 years.
Wow, it's fascinating. And so not just men now, you're saying over time more women and girls are part of the ceremony as well?
They will be part of the ceremony. But maybe in terms of percentage, I would say both the girls and women would form maybe 10% of this event. A better part of it is men. And then maybe another 10-15% will be the tourists, because we get the members of the diplomatic corps to be here, and then we get more people coming in to watch this event.
Yep. So that's the first event. That's
the first event that happens around December, January. And then the second one is your Marula ceremony, Emagano. This is usually attended and performed by matured women, married women. They gather a fruit called amarula. Natural, we call it a magano. But if you would Google it, it's called amarula. They make a traditional brew out of it, get it in containers and go and deliver it in the royal residence to Her Majesty the Queen Mother. It's a culture of actually saying, look, we're getting fruits now, we're going to be enjoying fruits. But before we enjoy the fruits as ordinary citizens, let's give it to our leaders. First offering. So then it's done in 2 phases. I think the first phase, as you can see, the dances over there. It's in one royal residence up north, towards the north of the country, called the Busheni. And then the second one is down towards the eastern part, Ehlane, where all the women will be there, and the king will host them. The first day they dance, the second day he will host them, dance with them, provide food for them, provide gifts, where then the Queen Mother will give them amenities like clothes sometimes, jackets and all the like, sometimes sneakers. So the Maswati would love to attend those events. It also attracts quite a number of international tourists, and would love to invite Malaysians to take this opportunity and explore these events.
Well, there you go, Malaysian, as an open invitation from His Excellency himself. This is also quite significant in the sense that it really helps to bridge, just not having that offering, but also talks about a sort of a new harvest season that's coming, and also having that oneness and equality for all to come together. Your Excellency, that's the second one. You mentioned 3, so what is the final one?
Before I jump to the third one, I just want to say, in this event, the women and the men will get an opportunity to dance all night with the king in the center. And when there is a room for them to criticize him or say something that they want to advise him, they say it there.
Wow.
So
and it's taken openly, it's accepted.
It's an open event, and there is always cameras around it. So yeah, it's a fascinating period.
So the king, his task is perhaps what we perceive it to be. There is a lot of work that's involved from the royal family themselves. They really have to get to know the people, interact with them, and really understand the grievances of the people. Definitely,
and that's why most of the time you find that. I'll just talk about yesterday. He was opening some shops down south. He wants to go and mingle with the people so that he can get an opportunity to see the status, poverty levels, and those that are probably affluent. He needs to understand that so that he can also influence the allocation of resources at the end of the day. Yeah. So let's then jump to the third one. This is the Umhlanga ceremony. We call it Shangari Dance, where the young maidens will then also walk plus or minus 35 k's on foot, go gather reed. I'm sure you know reed. It's the grass that grow by the river, yes. So they will gather that, cut a bunch of it, come back with it to the royal residence, because usually it is used to build
fencing,
a wall, as you can see,
yes,
in front of the traditional huts of Eswatini. So we still are maintaining this. Young women that are not yet married. Basically, it's supposed to be young women that are not married and that have not met anybody as yet.
Any
so
suitor.
They go there.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. And then you get, I'd say, plus or minus 120,000 young women would be there the next day, then, which is the main event. That's the where it becomes a holiday. So there's a holiday for men, there's a holiday for women, there's a holiday for the young girls. They get a holiday, nobody will do nothing except to watch the dance, and they dance in front of the king. And then the king will get a chance here where he will go in front of in front of almost all the girls, because he moves along the place where they are. Make sure that most of them can see the king at a 1 meter, 2 meter distance.
Right.
You don't see him from a distance.
Afar,
Yes.
almost face to face.
Yes, almost face to face. You see, there is the king right in front of you. And he then appreciates culturally the dances, because he will be carrying his shield. So when he appreciates the dance, he would bang it on the ground to appreciate that nice dance. So it's the epitome of the event for the young girls.
Your Excellency, on the back of this vibrant heritage as well, but in modern times now, how is Eswatini striking that middle ground to ensure that heritage is upheld, but also then moving forward in terms of innovation and towards the future?
Look, it's a difficult call. It's a very difficult call for our government and our people to make. But I think we're striving. We're doing, I'd say we're doing extremely well in that regard, by making sure that we educate these youngsters, especially at schools, and also the events. Before there's an event, there's always a build-up. Educate the youngsters about the benefits of this without stopping them from advancing into today's life. But they would also appreciate the need to participate in this event so that they can retain their cultural heritage. And the fact that government and the king would also invest a bit of some money in terms of giving them incentives. These young girls and these young guys, when they walk these long distances, as I said, they get sneakers, beautiful sneakers, sometimes beautiful backpacks to carry their water or energy drinks as a present from the king. And sometimes you'd find that when the economy is doing well, the king would give them incentives in terms of money so that they can buy a dime or buy a few snacks here and there. And that's exciting. When you get a present from the king, you may not necessarily get it from his hands, but knowing that this is a present from the king, it fascinates the kids. So we are trying as a country. I think the major thing is that people should advance into the future. But also know where they come from.
A big portion of it is, of course, the voice of the youth. What are the youth saying in this day and age? And as you mentioned, to strike that balance, but also to live in the daily life. What are the demands of the youth at this point?
Look, African region, also which includes Eswatini, I think we are grappling with unemployment. I think the biggest demand that the youth is concerned about is creating jobs for them. And as I said before, that the king yesterday had gone down south to open one of the big factories that employed about 600, 700 people. The major need for young people is internet, access to internet, and creation of jobs. Just about 7 days ago, I think we were launching free Wi-Fi in actually in our capital city. The plan is to roll it out the whole country, so that in such a developing country, people should not strive or should not struggle to connect to the internet. Because we believe that once they connect to the internet, they can then have opportunities, they can explore different opportunities here and there.
Well, from Africa into Southeast Asia, what is your mission here, Excellency? What are some of your trade missions in terms of achievements that you would like to achieve?
Well, in our case, as I've just indicated, that we're investing in a lot of infrastructure in terms of ICT. We would love to attract more. One of our tasks is to strengthen the trade relations that we have, attract more investors that would go and invest in Eswatini in terms of ICT, in terms of energy. I know that Malaysia has got companies that build solar panels, the PVs. So we would love those people to explore Eswatini, come and use Eswatini as a launch pad, manufacture in Eswatini, then export to the SADC region and also to the European region. And of course, there is the AGOA benefit, the Accelerated Growth Initiative, that would mean that when you supply or sell to America, you sell at a better price. So you make money out of that. So I think we would attract investors to come and invest in Eswatini. Of course, there are other benefits that can be discussed on one-on-one with that particular investor so that we can have bilateral benefit. We want our people to have jobs, but we also want the investor to come in where we can discuss issues of free taxation so that they can, and allowing them to export most of their profits. So those are the benefits that we have as a country. But of course, we can discuss, and it all depends on what amount is the investor bringing.
Right.
But we're here to strengthen that, to attract more people. I think recently we were here with the director, Mr. Sun, of ProBase. We've got a company called ProBase that is based in Johor Bahru. Is doing a lot of work in Eswatini in terms of stabilizing our roads. So that's one of the benefits that we gain from the relationships that we have with Malaysia.
Right. And so for investors coming in, whether from Southeast Asia, Malaysia, or across the world, what would be some of those attractions that Eswatini can really offer? We look at trade as well, and there's some areas like textile and sugar, vegetables, beef, as you've mentioned, agriculture as well.
Mostly, I think in our case, it's agro-processing, manufacturing, mining, in the energy sector and in the tourism sector, as we've got the cultural tourism as one of our strengths. So in those particular areas, and ICT as well, we're still a developing country, and infrastructure development as well. A developing country still needs a lot of construction equipment, construction technology, and etc. So we believe that if we can get more investors that would have an interest to set up factories and all the likes in Eswatini, we would love to assist them.
Right, and so with this ambition and vision, of course, to attract more growth to Eswatini, what were some of the embassy's recent efforts or events that has helped to really put this call out there? Okay.
Thank you very much. We're working in partnership with the other African embassies. So I think recently we've had Africa Day, and we're planning to have one end of May, where we then showcase and demonstrate our culture and also present to the general floor the opportunities that exist. We also are working hand in hand with Matrade here in Malaysia, where we present the opportunities that the country can offer. And I must say that Matrade is working with us. Sometimes we have individual meetings with different firms where we talk about the opportunities that Eswatini has.
Right, so you mentioned Africa Day towards the end of May, and that would be interesting to see as well. Would there be any other showcases that would be coming up between Malaysia and Eswatini anytime soon?
They should. We had requested a budget for an event that we're planning to host around August, September. So once we get the approval from our capital, we would then definitely pronounce it and have that event.
Between Malaysia and Eswatini, is there any visa application that needs to be done, and how can Malaysians visit Eswatini seamlessly?
Wow, Eswatini and Malaysia have a very strong relationship. I think there are a lot of common relations. I think we all are under kings. And if one wants to visit Eswatini, there is no visa requirement. So they would go in there, stay for 30 days for free without paying anything except the tickets and accommodation, and meet the ambience of the people. I think our people have got good hospitality. So you're free to go to Eswatini as much as we are free to come to Malaysia.
Right. There's just one question here. When I went online and tried to do a bit of research there, one question that popped up is Eswatini safe? I would like you to set the record straight at this point, Your Excellency, for travelers.
When we compare, I'm not going to mention any country, but when we compare to our neighbors, Eswatini is the safest country. You're not going to get someone getting bugged or getting someone to have his car or her car taken away. So it's a very safe country. We can assure you, you're going to walk in with your properties and live in with your properties. As I said, we have major international event. I think I've left one event, Bushfire Festival, that's going to be there end of May.
Okay.
It's a music festival that attracts people from across Europe and other countries. Would also love to invite music-loving Malaysians to come to this country and experience that. It's the whole weekend.
What happens at the bushfire?
You have lots of artists, musicians coming in to play or to present their pieces from Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I think it ends on Sunday at 5 p.m. So you enjoy the whole weekend. It's a very popular event. You can Google it, call it Bushfire Music Festival.
Bushfire Music Festival.
It's the only event in the world. It's Bushfire Music Festival.
Okay, so we have our fair share of festivals here as well, but to actually have that exchange as well with Eswatini in terms of culture, music and heritage. And I think you said it very rightly so, Your Excellency. We have a lot of things that are more similar than we would even imagine. With your time here in Malaysia so far, walk us through your experience, your journeys. What has been some of the highlights of being here in Malaysia?
Wow, I think the first highlight was to go and meet the king himself. And the other highlight is to meet the people. The first time I was here, I was actually fascinated. You get into the lift or you meet people along the road and they greet you. And if it's around lunchtime, they would ask you, have you eaten? And I'm like, oh, so this is this one of the similarities, because it's the same with Eswatini people.
Right.
They don't want to meet friends and meet people who are hungry. They want to make sure you are well taken care of. So I think that's the fascinating part. And then the weather here, the development that has been realized by Malaysia, it's amazing. It's really amazing.
Yeah, it's that hospitality value that Malaysians, and I think of course from your country as well, something that we can find that is very similar. Your Excellency, I always ask this to ambassadors or high commissioners that come through. What's your favorite place to visit here in Malaysia, and what's your favorite food? What has that been so far?
Wow. I'm a lion because I'm African, so I always love meat. But I love visiting Gangteng Islands. Mm-hmm. I'm from the mountains, so I enjoy Gangteng Islands. And also, because of my busy schedule, I'm supposed to go to Langkawi. But just to make up for that, if I have a little bit of some time, I go to Port Dickson. Oh. I love the sea. I love playing around water, so I think I'll still get a chance to go to Langkawi and explore a lot of these islands. But yeah, Malawi is a beautiful country with beautiful weather and with wonderful people.
With the islands and the tropics, of course. Fascinating. Before I let you off, Your Excellency, what would your message be to Malaysians watching today?
My message to Malaysians is that my home people, kindly visit Eswatini. We're waiting for you. We can't wait to host you. Come and enjoy our hospitality and our ambience. We love you so much, and we know you're going to come to Eswatini.
Fantastic. Well, that is just only scratching the surface as we explore the beauty and spirit of the Kingdom of Eswatini. We hope that today's conversation has given you a deeper appreciation of the rich culture, history and growing global ties that Eswatini has to offer. And if you're planning your next adventure, be sure to include Eswatini in your travel list. I'm Jessie Chahal. This has been Diplomatic Dispatch, your window into the world of diplomacy and international affairs. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you,
Your Excellency.